something like this. We're having a conversation here this afternoon on a couple of different topics that would probably be important to you and your work in your nonprofit organization. So I'd like to invite you to join us in the conversation. The topic we were talking about was internet fundraising and how has that changed the landscape for development professionals. Bradley, you've been involved with internet for quite some time. What are some of your perspectives on that?
I think what we're seeing in this political campaign is absolutely amazing. We haven't seen anything like this before, the rush of people to give online. The one mistake that I think people could make in this is to try to translate what we see in a political election or a campaign into what they do with their nonprofit outside of a campaign and think that they're going to get the same results. So you can't just put a website up with these cool, tricky little groups and communities and expect to see those kind of results. What we're seeing with the political campaigns and what we're seeing with the rush online is that there's a movement, there's a campaign, and people are joining that movement and that campaign, and where their hearts are, where their passion is, there go their dollars.
I think that's really important, Brad, because they're becoming a collaborative community, and they're in the election, they're allowed to be a collaborative community. Most nonprofits don't have room for communities like that.
Right.
And it becomes a real problem when they try to go to the internet.
Right.
Isn't it true that some of the greatest success for nonprofit internet fundraising has been with disaster relief organizations, Red Cross, those kinds of things, when there has been a hot button issue that drives people somehow to the internet for news? I have yet to see any of my client organizations, for example, be immensely successful with internet fundraising.
I think where we see people who are the one campaign I think is a perfect example. There is a campaign, it's well coordinated, it's well marketed, and people can get behind it and they join and their dollars follow that. But we don't see that a lot of times in the nonprofit world because we're so busy trying to just get by that we don't stop to think about the strategy.
And I think the campaign in particular had the internet as a primary fundraising vehicle as part of their strategy.
Right.
They started from the get-go that said, we're going to use the internet. What will it take to be successful in this? Most nonprofits, again, don't have that question in mind. They view the internet as easy money, easy work, easy access.
Right.
The internet is not the panacea for your fundraising activity. It is not the be-all, end-all. Do not rely exclusively on internet fundraising for your campaigns, for any kind of strategies that you have, simply because it is not yet to the point where people are willing to simply give online apart from any other kind of involvement with your internet. I think that would be the consensus of your success team.
Have a great campaign, have a great message, and use the internet as your tool, but you got to also use other communication tools.
Yeah. And I think that